sorry about the makeuplessness, but my health has been taking a bad turn lately, and I couldn't be bothered putting makeup on right now. I just wanted to do a quick update because this weekend, Phoenix and I are going to be working at a somewhat large Comic-Con. I've been wanting to do more follow me around type vlogs instead of just the sitting down in a room vlogs for you guys, but it's kind of difficult for a couple of reasons. One of them being that, for those of you who don't know, I am generally in a manual wheelchair, which means I kind of have to push along by myself, and it's very difficult to hold a camera while you're trying to push a wheelchair for yourself. The other reason being that I think people don't seem to realize how difficult it is to do follow me around type vlogs, because there's a lot of issues that can arise with it. One of them being, if you're going to certain places, you have to let them know ahead of time usually, because some of them won't let you film in them, and that can kind of trash your entire vlog if you're like, hey, let's go to like da da da, and then they're like, nah, you can't come in with the camera. Well, you know, you just promised everyone something you can't deliver. And the other reason is because if you're just in general walking around someplace and just talking while holding up a camera, chances are, whether the camera is only facing you or is facing outright, somebody will freak out. They will think you're filming them, and if they think there's even the slightest possibility that their face is in your video, you can end up in a pretty nasty fight with somebody who does not want to be filmed. And let's face it, nobody has the time to sit there on a street corner asking every single person if they mind being in their video or not. Even if you're someone who blurs the faces of the people around you in your video, sometimes that's still just not good enough, and all that stuff just makes it kind of hard. But hopefully, since it's a Comic-Con, I'll have an easier time filming a fun little follow me around type vlog so you can see what it's like to work at a Comic-Con. I've attended them, but now I'm usually working at them, and it's going to be a slightly different perspective than what some of you might be used to, so I think that's going to be fun. This little man is so tired from the heat. Pooh Bear, my little Pooh, I love you so much. As some of you guys know, I'm in a wheelchair, so I don't know how well I'm going to be able to film our table, but this is basically it. There's prints in the back there, there's hand paintings here, more prints, and I will try to roll myself over without dying. I'm doing the little vloggy thing of it. There's some paintings. The paintings are all either watercolor, spray paint, or a combination of both. Guess who's here this time? We had a really good day yesterday because it pays to be really friendly with the people who attend the con. We went and said hi to Rob Paulson, and he liked us enough that he's been visiting our table a lot. Day 2 of the con has officially begun. I look crazy right now, and everyone's been let in, so I can't video for too long or I could lose a customer, but this is so cool. We've been invited to do another convention by people beside us. I've been talking to Miss Wheelchair USA, and I'm going to be doing some stuff with her. More information on that to come later. Guess who's here? I don't know who did that, but it looks terrible. Why would you pay for tables and then not use them? Sci-Fi Valley Con has sadly come to an end, and I am packing the car and getting ready to go back home now. I had so much fun though. We made just as much money as we do from the bigger cons that we do, which is awesome. We'll definitely be coming back here next year. And I made so many friends. We made artist friends, we made writer friends, and I made a lot of fellow handicap friends, which was great. This was probably the most accessible con I've ever been to in my entire life. There were so many of us in wheelchairs, and we were all networking with each other and talking to each other. And I also met somebody else, and we are planning on hopefully getting a group together of people who want to become cosplayers, who happen to be in wheelchairs, who attend cons together, and who visit children in hospitals and special needs people, because they tend to gravitate towards those of us in wheelchairs anyway, because there's something familiar and safe about us, since in some way they view us as being a lot like them. So all in all, I think it was massively successful, and I am so happy. Thank you for joining me. Sorry that I didn't vlog too much, but we were swamped with customers, and I felt that it might be a little bit rude. Hello there, guys. A few years ago, I would not have been caught dead putting myself on the internet looking this horrible, but I thought this is the perfect time to start discussing health stuff in my life, because I woke up this morning unable to even get out of bed. That's where I am right now, because the pain is just too fierce, and I don't even know how long I'll be able to hold this camera up for. I'm kind of going to just take you along with me throughout my day today and let you see what it's like to spend the day as me, because I've had a lot of people in my life who said that either that I was lying about my pain to get money from people, or that I'm lucky because I don't have to go to work. So you're going to follow me around today and see how lucky I really am. It took me about 2 hours, but I eventually made it into the living room, and I am confined to the couch by Phoenix and by my own body. And while I can still somewhat talk, I'm going to try to explain to you what exactly is going on right now. I call this a flare. Technically speaking, for someone with chronic pain, a flare is actually this once a year, maybe twice a maximum point, where your health takes a bad downward spiral and you get really sick and you hurt really bad for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on how severe the flare is. But I call any day where I have moderate to severe enough pain that I can't really function on my own a flare, because I'm not really sure what else to term them as, because bad pain day just doesn't really encompass it well enough. It doesn't sound as severe as it really is. Excuse my not so goth bathrobe that I'm wearing. You're gonna have to forgive things like that, because on days like this I don't really care if I look goth or not. I'm gonna try to explain to you now what's happening at the minute and what usually happens with this kind of thing for me. Basically, there's two kinds of flares that I get, besides the once a year ones. There's ones that have warning and there's ones that don't have warning, and lately I've been having a lot of both. The ones without warning are a lot scarier, even though they tend to be less severe, because, just like I stated, there's no warning. I have no idea that they're coming, and that's terrifying, because I've had this happen many times, and you can ask Phoenix to back me up on this, she will, where we'll just be, out at a park or something, or at the movies, or at the mall, just hanging out as usual. I'll be totally fine, as fine as I can possibly be, just talking to her normally, like I'm talking to you now, and all of a sudden I will just pass out completely. No ideas coming, don't feel anything until I hit the ground. and I'll get up, I'll be really confused, I'll be in a lot of pain, not just from the impact, just in general. I'll feel really nauseous, and that will send me downward for the rest of that day. The other kind of flare, like the one I have today, does have some warning with it. And Phoenix has been with me long enough and lived with me long enough now that she can see the signs and will be like, hey, I want you to rest tomorrow because I can tell you're going to have a flare. Because a lot of the signs are visible, and there's something I'm not going to see unless I'm looking in a viewfinder or a mirror all day long, which I tend not to do unless it's a filming day. So basically the first sign that is not visible, the first sign that's not visible that both of us will see is that my appetite will tank. My appetite's already not spectacular to begin with because of all my health stuff, and I have a lot of dietary restrictions. There's a lot of things that I cannot eat. So diet's not great to begin with, but I will honestly get to a point where for like 3 days I eat nothing. The most I'll have is glasses of water and a smoothie, and that's about it. And she'll be like, hey, I noticed that for like the last 3 days, it's anywhere from 3 days to a week, you haven't really wanted to eat anything. I think you're going to have a flare. And that's when I start being careful. And then another sign, the second sign that comes, is my eyes are a tell. Obviously, I like to do the crazy goth makeup as often as I can for Instagram and everything, and for my YouTube videos, and even for just going out and about during the day, because that's just me, and that's what makes me happy, and you need to do what makes you happy, no matter what anyone thinks about it, like I always say. But when I start not doing too well, sometimes it's not completely conscious yet, because I never feel great. I always have some pain and nausea no matter what every single day of my life, so I'm not always positive if a flare is coming or not. And under my eyes, as you can see, will get extremely dark. Right now they're only like medium dark. They can go from this to like dark purple that honestly looks like I was hit in the face with a hockey stick pretty fast. By like, if tomorrow they're really, really bruised, like worse than they are today, it means that for at least 2 weeks I'm gonna have to be down for the count because it's gonna be a bad one. So that's the second thing we'll notice, is under my eyes will get dark, and they don't usually look like that when I'm having a relatively okay day. The next thing, and this is like the last warning sign, is that I get extremely fatigued. I don't just mean like, oh, I didn't sleep very well last night, I'm kind of tired. I mean like I can't even drag myself up like 2 stairs because I'm too exhausted. And most people who don't have any health problems don't get that tired that fast. I will literally just be trying to go and get the mail, and I'll feel like I'm going to pass out from exhaustion. It's pretty bad. So that's the kind of flares I have. Yesterday, around like the 5 o'clock at night area is when I started getting my warning signs, so I knew today was probably going to be bad. I woke up once at like 6:30 in the morning in a ton of pain, feeling really bad, and I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. And then I fell back asleep, and I woke up again at like 10, and I couldn't drag myself out of bed until around the 1 o'clock in the afternoon area. And on days like this, my life is really hard, not only from the obvious stuff, the pain and the nausea and the exhaustion, but also 2 things. One, you can't always stop your life because of a flare. Sometimes I don't have a choice. If I have a con that day or something, I need to get in my wheelchair, I need to do my makeup as well as I can, and I need to fake through it no matter how bad it hurts, and then pass out when I'm done. You can't always cancel stuff. And the other hard thing about days like today is the fact that well, there's two things. One, I'm not going to be terribly productive, even though I really need to be and I really want to be, because we have like 5 months to finish Fire Sphere Volume 2, and I really need to get on that already. But also because you can't just let yourself, completely lie around and do nothing on a bad flare day. You have to force yourself to do some stuff or you'll get worse. Yes, I'm going to be on the couch all day, and I need to be on the couch all day, but I need to do arm, hand, leg, and foot exercises, or I'm going to get muscle cramps, and that's going to make it feel a lot worse than it does right now. The first thing I need to do now that I'm out here is I have to force myself to eat. I'm going to have no appetite. Eating 1 spoonful of food is going to make me feel really sick, but I have to force myself to eat at least 1 meal every day during my flare, because if I don't, I just don't eat at all. I survive solely on protein shakes, and I dump like 12 pounds in a week, which is really unhealthy, especially when you're already kind of small. So I'm going to have to force feed myself, which is not going to be fun. I'm not going to do that on camera because sometimes it can get kind of gross and horrible, and I don't want to trigger anybody. Sometimes I do end up purging it back up. Actually, usually I end up purging it back up, but at least I know I tried. And at some point, if I'm able to, I have to try to either shower, which will wipe out my remaining energy for the day, or I have to try to take some kind of bath, but I can't do that or anything besides just try to eat some food and stay on the couch until Phoenix gets home, because I am a constant fall risk now. I can't go anywhere outside my house without my wheelchair because it's pretty much a guarantee now that I will fall, and that's dangerous. I've terrified some people by doing that in the past, and I'm not really sure what else to say right now because the brain fog is rolling in and I'm forgetting what I've already said and what I need to say. So for now, I'm going to sign off this part of the video, and I'll keep trying to record as things happen during the day. It's later in the afternoon now. I've stayed on the couch all day like I was supposed to, and I've been trying to communicate well with Phoenix so that she knows how I'm doing. I felt pretty much the same most of the day until maybe half an hour ago, where I was suddenly really, really nauseous, and I felt like I was going to throw up a lot, and I was dry heaving a lot. Sorry for the TMI, but that's the kind of thing that happens with this. And I still feel really sick right now, so I had to lie down. I fell asleep twice, but I didn't wake up feeling refreshed. I woke up still feeling like I hadn't slept for like a week, and I think I'm not going to get any better throughout the day, so I'm just going to keep on resting, and I'll check back in either tonight or tomorrow to let you guys know how I'm doing. Phoenix is on her way home from work right now. She said she'd be here in a few minutes, and I feel like as the day's gone on, I've gotten worse instead of better, and right now it's taking every ounce of strength I have in me not to just lie here and cry because I'm in so much pain right now. I will try to explain it all better tomorrow, but all I can say for right now is I hope none of you ever have to go through anything like this. I know I look pretty much exactly the same, but this is now day 2. As I'm sure you can hear already, my voice sounds much better than it did yesterday, and I just wanted to kind of update you on what ended up happening after the camera turned off for the night. Basically, Phoenix got home and of course immediately wanted to take care of me because she's completely amazing, and I couldn't do anything by myself. Every time I tried to get up to go to the bathroom, to get a drink, to do anything at all, I needed her to hold me up because I would immediately just collapse in a heap on the floor. I would feel like all my energy had been drained out of me and just fall. and I wouldn't be able to get back up by myself, which is absolutely terrifying, but that's unfortunately nothing new for me at this stage in my life. And beyond that, I couldn't really eat dinner. All I could do was like nibble on these little micro meals throughout the day. My body got really swollen, my eyes got even darker as the night went on, and by like 9 o'clock at night I was like, I gotta go to bed. This is getting too hard for me. So that's what I did. I went in there, and even though I was in a ton of pain and I was nauseous and I was exhausted, I couldn't actually fall asleep until well after midnight, and that sucked because I felt like I didn't get enough sleep. And then I woke up this morning and I sounded better. I feel a little bit better, but I am still couch bound. I can't really do a whole lot by myself besides go to the kitchen, which is just in the next room, and get myself a drink. Other than that, I can't do much of anything still. And I'm still really, really weak. I'm having difficulty standing up and sitting down by myself, so I'm kind of just stuck here until she gets home again. And just like yesterday, I will update you throughout the day on my physical state and kind of let you know what's going on. Checking in again on day 2 of the flare. I am pretty swollen up. I don't know if you can tell or not looking at me, but I am. And excuse the noise for a minute. I had to put the flash down. And there's been some developments throughout the day. I'm in early afternoon right now, and I was well enough to get up and go to the bathroom by myself, which is progress for sure, but I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm still feeling pretty sick. I couldn't even finish one meal yet today. Hopefully that changes as the day goes on, but I don't really know. And other than that, I'm hoping that in about an hour or so I'll have the energy to go and shower or take a bath, because I think I'll feel a lot better. But while I'm on camera, I decided that I'd share with you how I get through these flares. Basically, everything I do for pain management is herbal. I don't take prescriptions. I have a lot of issues personally with prescriptions. I do take them sometimes, like obviously after I had major surgery, I took my freaking prescription. I'm not going to argue with my surgeon. If I absolutely need one, I take it. But for just general stuff like this, I don't want my entire life to revolve around a medication, and I'm afraid that's what's going to happen if I take something for pain management. So instead, I have salves that I use. I have like a lot of mint and stuff in them. I have like ginger teas and stuff, and I've got bag upon bag upon bag of herbs in a cupboard in my bathroom, and I use all of those for pain management. And sometimes I inhale them, sometimes I eat them, sometimes I put them on my body. Depends on like what kind of pain I'm experiencing that day, what I use. And the only, herbal remedy I don't use is I don't use marijuana. And no, I'm not going to sit here and shame anyone who does, because I definitely understand what the benefits of it are, for sure, for a lot of different things. It's like a wonder plant. My reasons for not using it for pain management are that I used to work with a guy who smoked. It was straight up weed. There was like nothing crazy mixed in or anything, but he would smoke it a lot, like on his breaks from work and stuff, and he'd come back in right afterwards when it's still like on his person and everything. If he came near me with, a lit joint, or if he came near me right after he was done smoking pot, I would get these horrible flu-like symptoms. I'd feel really sick, like I was going to throw up. Half the time I'd have to leave work because I couldn't handle it. And I don't know what that reaction was, but it happened numerous times, like every time he'd come near me, to the point where I was like, you can't come by me after you've done that, because I'm having really bad reactions to it. I don't know if I'm allergic or what, but it makes me kind of scared, because I'm not sure what about the plant causes that. I don't know if it's just the smoke, I don't know if it's just the smell. I don't know if like cannabis oil would do the same thing to me, but as screwed up as my body already is, it is really scary for me to try something that I've had bad experiences with in the past. So, as of right now, that's like the one big herbal remedy that I do not use for pain management, and I'm probably not gonna anytime soon. Day number 3 video right now. Actually, no, I think it's day number 4 technically. I don't think that I really filmed yesterday at all, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe my body needed that break from worrying about stuff like social media and everything. I do try my very hardest to make sure that my YouTube and my Instagram are always updated and that I link all my videos to my Twitter account, but I need to take care of me first. I need to worry about my own health before I worry too much about my social media presence. If I stay the size I am, teeny tiny now, that's fine. I still have fun making videos, and I don't make videos to, gain a bunch of subscribers. I do it because it makes me happy. And if I boom one day, I boom. I mean, that's all there is to it, really. So I'm gonna keep trying to do my weekly video thing as usual, but at the same time, I'm gonna take more time for myself. I'm gonna make sure that I don't push myself to the point where I have flares and I get sick like this, because it's just not worth it. I mean, it's better for me to miss a week's worth of videos and post something late than to push myself to a point where I get really sick and go to the hospital and then I can't make videos for like a month. And as I'm sure you've noticed by now, I managed to do some makeup. It looks absolutely horrible compared to what I know I'm usually capable of, but the point is, at least I managed to do something, which means I'm doing a little bit better, and I'm hoping that by this weekend the flare will be completely gone. And I've got a couple of events coming up. I've got a chalk walk, and then we have this culture fest downtown. Chalk walk is pretty much what it sounds like. You buy a couple squares of the sidewalk downtown and you make art on it with chalk. And the other one is an event we're going to be selling our paintings at, and I'm hoping that does pretty well because all my technology apart from this camera and my iMac has died. I am basically phoneless right now. I mean, technically I have my phone, but it only works every once in a blue moon right now. Other than that, Phoenix has been taking amazing care of me, but that's no surprise. I talk about her enough on this channel that you guys know that she's wonderful with me. And I actually thought of her earlier today because my grandma was actually having a really good day today, and my parents sent me a picture of her smooching on my grandpa, and it made me think of my future with Phoenix. The fact that my grandma's health started out not great when they got married, and it declined more and more every decade to a point where she's been like wheelchair bound and can do pretty much nothing on her own. My grandpa has to do everything for her, and he just does it. He just stepped in not only as her husband but as her #1 nurse as well, and I am very confident that's how my life is going to go with Phoenix. Sorry if this isn't what you really want to see of me, but sometimes I need to make videos for myself. As always, though, do something that makes you happy today, no matter what anyone else thinks about it. And until next time, I'll see you soon, hopefully with a nicer video.